Welcome to Virginia International Raceway.
And coverage of the season opener of the 2010 Playboy Mazda MX5 Cup alongside Elliott Forbes-Robinson. I'm Rick Benjamin. Derek Bertosiglio has our coverage on pit road. This lead group, Elliott, 6 cars strong, and nobody's given up here as we get to the midpoint of this race.
No, it looks like someone gets a little bit of a break like Rampelberg did at the beginning, and it seems to again now. But then everybody closes back up on him again. So that's typical of VIR because this straight lets everybody draft back up on the leader. And
I'm so impressed with what we're seeing from Dean Copeland. That's a one-car team. Matt Pombo here this weekend, essentially a one-car team, although they hope to run 2 later on in the year. Your leader, though, Rampelberg, part of AMG. That was the championship team from a year ago, and Rampelberg driving the car that dominated under the hand of Todd Lamb. Right behind him is Copeland. Let's get an update from pit road. Down to Derek.
Problems with the 0-1 of Matt Pombo. He started 7th, he's up to 5th right now, but he thinks the motor may be laying down. He just radioed to the crew that he thinks he may have a miss in the engine. He's trying to hang in there with the leaders, and he's hoping that staying in that lead draft will help keep him up at the front.
It looks like he had, I noticed coming up the straight when Justin Piscatel went by him, it was an awfully easy pass. So it looks like he has lost a little bit of straight line speed there.
Coming up to halfway, 8 laps on the board. The scramble into turn 1. Piscatel in that white, orange, and blue DAMG car, the 89, trying to hold off Pombo there and close back in on Michael Cooper for 3rd. Piscatel using a much different line through turn 1 there, Elliott.
Yeah, he is. And part of it, I think, was because Pombo was taking the other part of the track, and Pombo is not giving up because the engine's not running with. Whoa! Justin got off the track there a little bit, but Pombo is still driving hard. Whoop, little slide there by him. It's going to cost him now.
Offline, Pombo in that blue 0-1 car gives up a lot of ground, falls back to 6th position. Elliott, how forgiving are these Mazda MX5 Cup cars?
Actually, they're quite forgiving. You saw how Piscatel went off the road. They lost a little bit of time, but actually, part of the time there was because when Pombo got all sideways, they had to check up and let him by. So they've lost the lead draft a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch back up with it again.
So Rampelberg, Copeland, and Rampelberg's teammate, the other blue car, the 84 this year, Michael Cooper. Let's get on board with Dean Copeland, who has led laps here today and is right behind the race leader heading to Oak Tree.
Well, he's doing a great job, too. It looks like they're taking a little bit different lines here, but look at Rampelberg work that car, slide off, got all in the dirt, didn't get a good run off there. Copeland should be able to get a good run on him off down the straight now.
Now these Mazda MX5 Cup race cars use a sealed motor, but tuned for this event, they make a little over 200 horsepower, and that's plenty, Elliott, for this light 2,300-pound car.
Oh, absolutely is. It's a fun car, but it's not actually the horsepower that makes great racing. It's the fact that they're all equal. I mean, equal cars. You've seen it with a team that doesn't have a lot of people on the team to work on the car. New teams like Pombo's are still running up front.
Copeland back to the lead, heading down the hill toward the front straightaway. Shuffling Rampelberg back to 2nd in the 4 car, and his teammate in the 84, Cooper, out of New York, Syosset out on Long Island in 3rd spot. Now the teammates you'd think could hook up and work together here, and Copeland might be a sitting duck.
Well, it might be, but I think right now everybody's just racing as hard as they can, and Cooper doesn't seem to have, he's close, but doesn't seem to have anything for them. He's able to follow him, but he doesn't seem to be able to get in the mix.
Rampelberg to the outside, able to take the measure of Copeland, heading back toward turn 1, on board with Copeland here, holding the inside. Rampelberg drives around him on the outside, though, and takes the lead back.
Isn't it great they're racing this tight and making this many passes? There's no hitting, there's no anything. They're just making really clean passes, doing a good job at driving.
3rd place car, the 84 of Michael Cooper. Limited experience in this series. Rampelberg, of course, a guy who won a couple of these races back in 2008. Had to sit last season out. Funding always a challenge in racing. Rampelberg had to get his house in order, more or less, to come back to the series this year, doing a nice job in his return. So 2 of the 4 AMG cars running up front. Team members watching here at Virginia International Raceway.